This is called Comeback, and it's also from X. The big shindig was at Bruce Glasser's house in Tarzana, the only part of the valley I don't consider a shithole. It's the same house where we shot a lot of my movies when it belonged to Ricky Sampson, owner of Luscious Video back in the 80s. The Virgin High series had turned Bruce into one of the biggest adult film producers in the country, making him rich enough to buy it when Ricky died from screwing the wrong junkie. Ricky always liked it bareback, and everyone knew it would get him in trouble one day, either dead or a daddy. It was weird being there for a party instead of a shoot. I kept expecting the doorbell to ring and the late great Johnny Calzone to come in dressed like that fucking pizza delivery boy from Who Ordered Sausage. I still can't believe that's the role that got him famous, though I guess I'm still best known for playing a high school girl who fucks her gym teacher on the parallel bars, so maybe I shouldn't talk. Bruce only invited me to the party because he was giving me a role in his newest film, mostly out of pity, I suppose, but I wasn't about to say no. It's hard being a former starlet who's crossed to the other side of 40. Everyone thinks you're too ancient to be in their movies anymore, or you're only good for the granny porn sites. So I'd mostly been doing dub work on Japanese anime, the ones where girls get fucked by demons or whatever. The money's all right, but the job's kind of limiting. There are only so many ways to make that surprised gasping noise when the tentacles come out of nowhere and Little Miss Wide Eyes gets one in every hole. So I felt like a visitor from another planet standing there in Bruce's crowded living room. Everyone knew everyone else, they all had their arms around each other and were laughing at private jokes, but I didn't recognize anybody. A whole new generation of filmmakers had sprung up since the last time I was there. I guess I'd expected to sign at least a few cocktail napkins. Stay tight, love Amber Fox. Just like in the old days when everyone asked me to sign video boxes. But no one seemed to remember me. If they did, they didn't give a shit. I was just some old lady to them, not worth the attention when there were so many young hotties in the room. A high-pitched squeal caught my attention. Amber? A girl I'd never seen before ran up to me. She was skinny, a tiny thing with big blonde hair, tight bell-bottom jeans, and a cropped t-shirt that barely covered her melon chest. She didn't look more than 18. The one and only, I said. It's an old joke. Half the women in the biz call themselves Amber. Oh my God, she shrieked, giving me a peek at the metal stud in her tongue. Amber Fox, I can't believe it. In the flesh, I said. I was relieved someone had finally recognized me, even if she was probably one of the younger stars I'd been losing roles to for the past 6 years. I tried not to look at how toned and tight her stomach was, but the glittery string of diamonds dangling from her pierced belly button kept drawing my eye back. I felt like a whale all of a sudden, so I sucked in my gut and made a mental note to avoid the hors d'oeuvre table for the rest of the night. You have no idea how big a fan I am, she cried, her eyes wide and crazy looking. You'll just have to tell me then, I said, laughing my party laugh. Behind her, someone spread lines of coke on the coffee table. Suddenly it felt like no time had passed. It was still 1986 and I was the hottest adult film actress this side of Seika. I'm Crystal Lynn, she said, extending one remarkably tiny hand. Her nails, though, were enormous and had a green $sign stenciled on the white polish. I winced in sympathy for any guy unlucky enough to get a hand job from her. Maybe you saw me in Ready, Willing, and Anal 5? Oh, I won an AVN award for that, Best Ass to Mouth. Congratulations, I said, shaking her hand. I have an AVN myself. I know, Lifetime Achievement Award, Crystal squealed. I know like everything about you. You're my hero. You're totally why I got into business. I grinned. Really? Totally. My father had like all your videos. I found them under the sink in his bathroom, and this one time when he was out of town, I invited over all my friends from school, and we had an Amber Fox marathon. You were so cool. Her father. She might as well have stabbed me in the heart. Sometimes I forget how long ago the 80s were. She turned around and shouted into the crowd, "Hey, Terry, get your ass over here. You gotta meet someone." A tall, chunky man closer to my age than hers, with fuzzy handlebar mustache, a ponytail sticking out the back of his trucker cap, and a big blue knapsack slung over one shoulder, made his way over to us. "This is Amber Fox." "Yeah," he said. "Not hi, not pleased to meet you, just yeah." Terry left. I own Sunset Auto Parts. He said it like I ought to be impressed, then shook my hand with an overly strong grip. I knew his type immediately, the small-time, loudmouth loser who'd managed to catch a hot young porn star girlfriend with daddy issues and thought it made him big shit. I knew the type because that was every boyfriend I'd ever had. They drove me crazy, but sometimes you need to come home to someone who still wants to be with you after you bitch about how a co-star got jizz in your eye when he came on your face. You remember those Virgin High videos I told you about, Crystal asked Terry? What, with the chick on the balance beam? Parallel bars, I said. This is her. No shit, Terry said. He put his arm around Crystal's shoulders and crushed her to him. I bet you could fuck on the balance beams no problem, right, baby? Maybe you should do a remake. I kept the smile on my face, but inside I cringed. There's a superstition in movies, and all entertainment probably, that once an idea is put out there, even as a joke, it will inevitably become a reality, as if somebody could pluck it right out of the air. If a remake of Virgin High happened with some new starlet in my signature role, I would personally hunt Terry down and kill him for bringing it up. Not that I'm a superstitious woman, but Virgin High was all the cred I had left. I'm going to leave you there, actually.